If you're watching this video, I'm sure you're someone who's worried about their exams and are trying to do the best they possibly can to improve their results. I'm going to give you some advice that could potentially improve your grades by 25%. Hello everyone, and a very warm welcome to my YouTube channel. For all those of you who are new to my channel, my name's Vinay Badwa, and I'm a doctor currently working in ITU. I also do a bit of teaching and research on the side. Today I'm going to talk about sleep. Well, why sleep, you say? Well, behind every good lockdown video, there's a good story, and here's mine. While scrolling through books on Audible, I came across this really good book called Why We Sleep by Matt Walker, and this book spoke about sleep like no book I had ever read before. I always knew sleep was important, but I didn't realize how crucial sleep was for our health and well-being. But what really shocked me the most was how much sleep affected learning and memory. I'd done so many all-nighters during medical school myself for exams, for deadlines, for essay submissions, but I never realized the harmful impact this had on my memory retention. And at that point I thought, if I as a doctor know so little about the topic, then what about students? How much do they know? And at that point I decided I'm going to do a deep dive into the world of sleep research so that I could really find out the benefits of sleep for academic performance and try and find out if sleep can actually improve my grades. In most recent studies, we now know that memory retention is about 20 to 40% better in those that have slept compared to those that haven't. For fact-based learning, such as reading a textbook, a region of the brain called the hippocampus acts as a short-term reservoir to store information. And I quickly wanted to show you what the hippocampus actually looks like. So I'm on this app called Complete Anatomy, and I can explore the brain, and that will show its different parts, and that's your hippocampus right here. So that's the hippocampus on the right hand side, and that's the hippocampus on the left hand side. However, the hippocampus can only store this information short term. The long term reservoir is called the cerebral cortex. Now here's the catch. A main chunk of consolidation happens when you're sleeping at night, which means that if you don't get a good night's sleep, your memory retention will be lower. All of this might sound very advanced, but two scientists, Dallenbach and Jenkins, proved this in 1924. In their study, they asked participants to learn a bunch of nonsense syllables, and as you might expect, the results were much better in participants that had slept compared to those that hadn't. This study was done back in 1924, so we've nearly known the relationship between memory and sleep for 100 years. Yet, we live in a society where sleep deprivation is becoming more and more common. The World Health Organization says that there are nearly 800 million people in the world that are chronically sleep deprived. Anyway, since then, countless studies have been done that demonstrate the role of sleep to improve memory. So now we've established that a good night's sleep is very important after you sleep. But what about before you're learning something? Sleep before learning refreshes our ability to learn new memories. So even a single night of sleep deprivation can cause a big increase in the reduction of retention of memory that you have the day after. After reading all these articles outlining the benefits of sleep before and after learning, I thought, wow, sleep is a superpower for exams. But then I thought, learning about memory itself is one thing, but have there been any studies that actually check if sleeping better improves academic performance? I came across this Nature article titled, "Sleep Quality, Duration, and Consistency are Associated with Better Academic Performance in College Students." 100 MIT students took part in this study. Their sleep was tracked using Fitbits. The sleep of these students was then compared to their midterm results. The specific sleep habits that this study looked into included how many hours the students slept, how consistently the students slept, and the quality of the student's sleep. The hours and quality of sleep was tracked by the Fitbit tracker. At this point, you might be asking yourself the same question that I was asking myself. What the hell is sleep inconsistency? So you know when you're sleeping not that much over weekdays because you have to wake up early in the morning and then you end up sleeping a lot more over the weekends? that counts as sleep inconsistency because you're not following a regular sleep routine where you sleep and wake up at the same time every day. The crazy bit was that these 3 sleeping habits accounted for 25% variance in academic performance. Now 25% might not sound like a lot, but it's the difference between a C and an A. The relative importance of these metrics were 7.16% for sleep duration, 9.68% for sleep quality, and 7.6% for sleep inconsistency. What surprised me the most was sleep inconsistency. It actually counted even more than the duration you slept every day. And the scary thing is, I've fallen into this trap myself so many times. You follow a good sleep schedule over weekdays, but the second it's the weekend, you turn off all of your alarms and you wake up late, and by the time it's Sunday, you've messed your sleep cycle up so much that you're sleeping at 2 a.m. and then you have to wake up 6 a.m. the next morning. It's not good for you during exams. I'm just going to show you a couple of graphs from this study just to drill the point in. In the first graph, they're comparing the average hours slept versus the overall score. And you can see as you're sleeping more, the overall score improves as well. I'm also going to show you a second graph which shows sleep inconsistency versus the overall score in class. And in this graph, you can see that as your sleep consistency improves, the overall score in your class also improves. Now, this is only one study, but there are many more that have demonstrated the positive effects of sleep on academic results. By this point, I think you know what the truth about all-nighters is. Quoting the Sleep Foundation website, sleep can distort your memory, impair your concentration and problem-solving abilities, and even degrade your brain's white matter that's crucial for forming neural connections and enhancing learning. I'd like to hear from you. Have you ever done an all-nighter before? Are you shocked to hear about this? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section. So I'd like to conclude by reading the results of a study that were published in 2018 with the article titled Calculating the Distribution of Sleep Problems to Undergraduates' Academic Success. Factors such as stress, binge drinking, marijuana, and other illicit drugs, which typically receive more attention by university administrators, had similar or relatively smaller negative associations with academic success as compared to disturbed sleep. Approximately 3/4 of students surveyed reported never receiving information about sleep from their university. And the results from this study perfectly sum up why I made this video in the first place. There's not enough information out there for students in schools or universities telling them how important sleep is. So if you only remember one thing from this video, remember that a good sleep schedule is essential for your academic success. So make sure to sleep a good 7 to 9 hours every single night, or even more if you're a teenager. And I know maintaining a sleep schedule as a student is really difficult. That's why in my next video, I'm going to talk about tips to improve your sleep habits. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. And unlike other YouTubers, I won't get offended if you fall asleep while watching my video because I've probably contributed to improving your grades.